My mother is the only person responsible for me being in unhealthy relationships. I'm telling you something. You are, from now on, from today on, the only person responsible for the quality of your relationships. Like it or you don't like it. I'm going to tell you why and how, and if you don't believe that, how you can change it in this video. Welcome, I'm Christina Junge, Love and Leadership Mentor. If you like to subscribe, happy to have you. Let's get into it. Narcissistic relationships. You're telling me your narcissistic mother, your narcissistic father, your narcissistic siblings, or a former narcissistic partner or current narcissistic partner is the person responsible for you not being able to live or healthy relationships or to come get into marriage and a long-lasting partnership. This is wrong. This is at some levels wrong, at some levels right. I'm telling you the difference. It is true that narcissistic people in your life, especially when you had to grow up with them, and they didn't allow you to grow much self-love, much self-confidence, much good of a self-image inside of you, have influenced substantially how you project yourself into this world. True. Let's put it like this. This is what your past is telling you today why you can't get into relationships. Because what you have learned about relating, about relationships, about love, about self-esteem, about being worthy in the eyes of other people was substantially linked to how people treated you. So the inference you made was telling now the story of these people were the ones responsible and now guilty of you not being so broken, to not being able to be in healthy relationships, to be in loving relationships, and not being able to marry a person which is, let's say, the one for you dream of. There's this saying which says, become the person you want the one who marries you to marry. And you might say, oh, look at me. I'm such a poor person. I'm so good. I've been mistreated for so long in life. I've been giving my whole life to other people. I'm such a poor person, Look what has all happened in my life, and I haven't ever done anything wrong to people. And you might be right. But what you can see at some point maybe is that you are living victim dynamics which are going to be pulling in again victim dynamics where not necessarily the person you want to partner with is an obvious victim. This person might hide their victimness under an armor of great self-confidence or like a self-confidence which is more like a masquerade, which is more like a facade than real confidence. And this might lead you to the idea that this person would now be the right person. But if you understand that we only attract who we are, then you see narcissistic relationships in your life, or you see narcissistic partners, or you see abusive partners, or you see unavailable partners, and you say, this is strange. This wasn't like that in the beginning. True, this person was showing a very different picture of themselves, a totally different image of themselves. But this doesn't mean that all inside of themselves they are on the same level of victimness, although they're becoming perpetrators, as you are. So it's much of a challenge rather than anything else. And I don't want to be insulting to people who have lived victimization their life long. But I want to tell you something, and I think it's much freeing and it's much liberating in the end. And this is that you are essentially the person, the only person who can change your relationship with yourself, who can augment self-love, self-confidence, your self-image, how you feel worthy, how you feel loved, how you feel being a person of dignity, how your self-esteem is. You are the only person who can do this. And if this is still new to you, that you pull into your life what you are and what you essentially feel you are. It is not what you know, it's not your titles, your academic titles, it's not your education, it is not your physics, it is not how you, if you're blonde or brown, or if you're white, or whatever your features are. It doesn't matter, You pull into your relationships the person you are inside of you, okay? And if you essentially think and feel that you are a victim and that all the world is doing wrong to you, and that you are the person who essentially needs to wait for the perfect person who will give you love, who will find inside of you who you really are, and that you really deserve being loved and being appreciated and being held worthy, which is true, which you do deserve, then you need to wait until the end of times, probably, because the work we need to do as a person that has lived abusive dynamics, has lived in narcissistic relationships, is that we need to do the work to understand that this, what has reflected in our lives, who we are as a person of worth or unworth, is just something which was created in reality because some people decided to do this, and we now think this is who we are. And it is who we are. I don't want to get you confused. Yes, it is only as long who you are as you believe it, as you buy into it, and as you feel really like a victim, as you really feel that you have to wait for this person to come, or for this narcissist to change and to retribute you and to apologize and to be there for you, to change completely, to then see in you who you really are. And it's not going to be like this. You need to see first inside of yourself who you are, that you are worthy, that you are lovable, that you are fine, that you are beautiful, that you are gorgeous, that nobody should ever maltreat you, And then you will pull in these people when you really have convinced yourself that you are this. If you keep on wording, on saying out loud words about you are responsible, these narcissists will never change, which is probably true, but holding them responsible for the destiny of your life, then you simply need to understand that this is wrong. This is not where you want to be, because you're calling in this energy which says, I have no agency over my life. I can't change my life. This is all these people around me who are responsible for what is happening, or guilty of what is happening in my life. What they are, to some extent. But you were the one who was allowing this. You were the one who didn't have the inner limits, the inner feeling of, this is not for me. that you allowed this to happen and happen and happen over and over again, and that you bought into that like a reality, like waiting for this other one to come and to make your life happen, to see that you are lovable, to see and recognize that you are beautiful, that now a totally new person has to be created who will see the beauty all inside of you. And I tell you who this person is, and you know it. It's yourself. Okay? You pull into your life people on, let's say, on a frequency, on a resonance level, who are on the same frequency as you are. So you really feel deep down inside of you, although you might think, no, it's okay, I think I'm a nice person, but deep down inside of you, here, you feel that you are shabby, that you're unlovable, that you're not worthy of love, that you're not worthy of anything good in your life. You will pull this energy into your life, and possibly not in a relationship, possibly not in the form of also itself showing victim, but in form of an abuser who feeds into this. That's just how things are. You might have friends which are all in these dynamics of, oh, I'm such a poor me, and yeah, I lived so much pain, and it's not about the dynamic to recognize and to capitalize, let's say, what has really happened inside of your in your lives, and to tell it, and to get support, and to be there and be empathetic with each other. It's not about that. Of course it's necessary, but there's a problem if you get stuck in it. And there's a problem that while you get stuck in it, you accuse somebody else who has victimized you of being the agent in your life, who is determining where and how your life is going and turning. And this is really bad news. I just have to tell you, this is not how things go. All right? You are the only person who can really cause a change inside of your life, inside of your relationships, inside of the dynamics with yourself, whatever this is, which loves you or doesn't love you, only with yourself. Only creating inside of yourself worth, inside of yourself love for yourself, inside of yourself this dignity where you feel, somebody coming here and telling you you're having green hair, while you're having blonde hair, that you're like, what? The same, like somebody treating you not right, and you're like, what? Like, this is totally strange to you, They're like, no, nobody's going to treat me like this. And you're not going to go and feed into this by asking for crumbs of love from those people, trying to change them, waiting for change forever and ever. But what I really want to bring over the message today is to create this love and this self-esteem and this self-worth and this self-confidence inside of yourself, and this self-image of a person who is not too broken to have love, right? But of a person who is in full dignity and who is in full responsibility for their own destiny, for what is happening in their lives. Was it good, or is it good, or if it isn't? But to always understand, out of the biggest misery, I can make something, and sometimes I can make a whole lot. And in many cases, your life isn't all that bad and that, let's say, handicapped at some point on an emotional level, that you would say, I can't deal with this, and I can't find light in my life anymore, and I can't find love in my life anymore. It is, you have to create this inside of yourself. You have to be there for yourself. You have to understand who you are and what the messages were you were given at some point, which made you understand, and you might be very aware of them. and which made you understand that you are not enough, that you will never be good, that you're never pretty enough, that you will never be lovable, that life is determined by some abusers, by some narcissists around you who will never allow you to level up, who will never allow you to get out of those dynamics, who will never allow you until they change to be loved. This is wrong. This is wrong. You are the first and only person, you can say it like that, who is responsible for your luck, for your happiness, for how you see life, for the love you feel. And it isn't, in theory, necessary that you have this other part to feel love. It is necessary for you to enter into a relationship of love with yourself, in a relationship of where you understand what your worth is, that you are worthy, that you are lovable, that you are respectable, that you are talented, that you are creative, that you are intuitive, and that you can level up to be that person and to no longer ask for crumbs of love in people who will never give it to you. And you can change relationships, Sometimes it is better to find new relationships instead of trying to fix a relationship with a person who doesn't want to give you the love and which kicks you back all the time into a state of disrespect with yourself and of insecurity about who you are and how you can have agency in your own life. But you, obviously, if you are in a long-term relationship where you can fix things still, you should fix your relationships parallelly while you are self-affirming, while you are loving yourself, while you are putting limits, while you are looking at this person, while this person is talking to you with disrespect in a manner that you're like, nobody talks to me like this, that the person can feel it. There's nothing to talk to these people on a cognitive, on a reasonable level. You need to live this. You need to level up in the self-love, in appreciating yourself, in being there for yourself, in believing yourself. This is huge, to believe in yourself, to believe in what's happening inside of you, to take yourself serious. And then you will, little by little, get into a cycle of love with yourself where you no longer give power away to people who are not appreciative of you, who won't be there for you, who are not in dialogue with you, who wouldn't listen to you, who wouldn't be empathetic, who wouldn't take you for serious, who would, and you will learn to distinguish this, who would have the only objective in the relationship, in their lives, to have somebody victimized, to have somebody right under them where they really feel to be, right? And to never allow you to level up because they are so afraid of getting in contact with their own hurt, with their own broken being, with their own victimization, and not feeling in a more powerful position, exercising power over people, and victimizing people, then getting in contact with their victimization, let's put it like this, their feelings of being not loved, of not being enough, of being a victim, and to level up, So you have to do this work for yourself. And you see what's happening outside in your relationships. But the more you level up, the more you love yourself, the more you're being there for yourself, the less you can say, because of my narcissistic mom, my narcissistic parents, my narcissistic siblings, and because of my former narcissistic relationships, I cannot find love, or I could never marry, I could never find healthy relationships. Yes, they had a part of your story, they were filling it, but only as much as you allowed them to be there as something determining. The moment you're starting to determine how much this has still agency in your life and how much you want to change right now, from now on, through loving yourself, through self-esteem, through feeling worthy, through changing your image, you will have a different life, and you will never fall back into saying this person is guilty of me not being able to advance in my life on a level of relationships, of in a professional way, in a way of health, in a way of finances, wealth, whatever it is, what you aspire to, you can do it. I'm just saying that you can do that. But you need, first and foremost, get in touch with yourself, with what you really feel you're worth. And you feel this more than anything inside of your body. When somebody treats you bad, there must be something inside of your body which doesn't go like this, like, oh no, he said it again, she said it again, or being confused or stuff like this, or being stressed, but something inside of yourself which says, hold on. This lion inside of you, this lioness inside of you, which will get these eyes of a predator, which will say, you are not going to talk to me ever again like this, because I am going to hold dear my child, my inner child, myself, the love I hold for myself, and I will not allow anybody to cross this limit. Get that? So this is what really holds you back from having healthy relationships, first with yourself. First be that person the person you're imagining as being a loving person, as being an appreciative person, as being a person who thinks you're worthy, wants to love, right? And sometimes we confuse, out of our broken mind, out of our broken self-love, people who are still predating on us with people who are really loving towards us, who are empathetic with us, that we confuse the dynamics, and that we say, oh, he's distant, so I have to earn love because I learned that. When you get into self-love, you understand you no longer have to earn love. You no longer have to show this person that you are good enough to be loved. This person will notice because you have noticed. And once you've noticed, you know. And you know what you're worth of. And you know that nobody treats you below your standards, your limits, your worth, what you feel you're lovable, And this is the way, how to get out of the accusation story of my narcissistic mom is the one who prevented my life from being happy, from me being in healthy relationships, only until today, if it was like this, because you have focused on that and you have projected it into the world, and you almost like recreated it by believing abusive or narcissistic people, their stories about you. But at the moment you start loving yourself, you start lifting up your self-esteem, you start lifting up your self-confidence, you automatically get into a different frequency of resonance with people who are there too. You no longer will pull abusive or narcissistic people into your life, or you will soon see the dynamics and say, hold on. And it's just by a bodily experience, by feeling that there's something which wants to get you down, like pick pack on you, okay? And that at that point, hold on, you stay away because I love myself more than you do. And there's something there's something wrong here. And you will know that there will be something more and better and more loving out there for you, that you have to no longer wait for these crumbs to fall off the table and to pretend to feed you, for you to prove constantly your worth, to prove constantly that you are lovable, to prove constantly that you are there, that you're somebody, that you're worth of being seen. Okay? So I hope this helped a little bit. I hope I could generate a little bit of this feeling of this understanding how other people have influenced in our lives and have taken away from our self-esteem, self-love, our feeling of self-worth, of our dignity. But you no longer have to buy into this, okay? That you are now the person responsible for what is happening in your life by creating a relationship with only yourself. And this you do at this point over stopping thinking negatively about you, stopping talking negatively about yourself, stopping giving other people the power and the responsibility that they would be the ones in charge of your happiness, and by really feeling inside of your body your limits, and your love, and of really getting into this feeling of how it feels to love yourself and to give you these messages all day long in whatever you're doing, that you're fine, that you're beautiful, that you're lovable, that you can do it, and that it doesn't matter that you weren't perfect, that you failed, and that things didn't come out to be as the way you have try them to be, produce them to be, okay? But that you can try again, that you are worth it, and that you have the power of starting up again, and that you are capable of learning and of leveling up little by little. And sometimes you have these pitfalls, and no matter, doesn't matter. Just step up again, and that you can do it. And that you are the only person who can change your relationships, not by telling them they are responsible for it or that they will change at some point, but by changing yourself in self-love. That's how it is. Thanks for listening. This is where you can subscribe. I'm happy to have you. Give me your likes and your comments, and check out the new video. If you're interested in coaching, check out the email address below, christina@christinajunge.com, and check out this video. I love to have you folks. Bye.